Another day, another story. Hey there, amazing viewers, and welcome back to our channel. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here with us today. I hope you're ready to embark on a journey of discovery and insight as we delve into the profound wisdom shared in the pages of Start With Why by the incredible Simon Sinek. You know, in a world overflowing with information, finding that one spark, that one guiding light, can make all the difference. And that's precisely what Start With Why offers. A guiding light that has the power to transform not just the way we lead and make decisions, but how we see the world around us. Have you ever wondered why certain leaders and organizations seem to have an almost magnetic pull, drawing us in and inspiring us to take action? Well, that's where the golden circle comes into play. Simon Sinek introduces this concept, which unlocks the secret to effective leadership and communication. The golden circle isn't just a catchy name. It's a blueprint for understanding the fundamental layers of motivation. At its core lies the question, why? The driving force behind every action, every innovation, and every transformation. And today, we're going to dissect each chapter of this book to reveal its treasures. But we won't stop at the surface. We're diving deep into the biology of decision-making, exploring the pathways in our brains that influence our choices, and uncovering why starting with why ignites our emotions and fuels our determination. Trust. It's a cornerstone of any successful relationship, whether personal or professional. Sinek takes us on a journey to understand how starting with why fosters trust within teams and organizations. When values align and purpose is shared, magic happens, a magic that builds trust like never before. And speaking of magic, have you ever witnessed an idea or movement suddenly take off, becoming a wildfire that spreads across society? Sinek's insights on the tipping point show us how a well-defined why, backed by consistent messaging, can turn an idea into a movement. So, my fellow seekers of wisdom, get ready to take notes, absorb, and reflect. Our journey through Start With Why is about to begin, and I promise you that the insights we uncover will not only inspire you but also equip you with tools to ignite positive change in your life. Before we dive in, remember to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any of our transformative content. As we embark on this intellectual adventure together, let's remember the words of Sinek. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Now, without further ado, let's journey into the pages of Start With Why by Simon Sinek and uncover the invaluable gems that await us. Chapter 1. The Introduction. Chapter 1 sets the stage for the entire book by introducing us to the concept of the golden circle. Imagine three concentric circles, the outermost representing what, the middle, how, and the innermost, why. Sinek argues that while most people and organizations know what they do and how they do it, only a few truly understand why they do it. Sinek uses some well-known examples to illustrate this concept. Let's take Apple as an example. Their what is making great computers. Their how is by designing user-friendly products with sleek interfaces. But their why, their purpose, the reason they exist, is to challenge the status quo and think differently. This differentiation between what, how, and why gives organizations a unique and compelling edge. It's the why that inspires loyalty and drives action, both from employees within the company and customers in the market. By starting with why, leaders are able to tap into the emotional core of individuals. This deep connection forms the foundation of trust and loyalty, which in turn leads to long-term success and growth. Sinek's key message is that while most organizations focus on selling the what and how, the truly remarkable ones start with why. This concept is not only applicable to businesses but also to individuals. Understanding your personal why can guide your life choices and lead to a more fulfilling and purpose-driven journey. So, as we wrap up this detailed exploration of Chapter 1, keep in mind that your why is the driving force that fuels your actions, both in your professional and personal life. In the upcoming chapters, we'll dive deeper into how to discover and communicate your why. If you found this in-depth summary of Chapter 1 insightful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for our next video where we'll unravel more gems from Start With Why by Simon Sinek. Thanks for watching, and remember, always start with why. Chapter 2. The Law of Diffusion of Innovation. Chapter 2 of Start With Why takes us on a journey through the law of diffusion of innovation. This concept, often depicted as the adoption curve, categorizes people into 5 groups based on their readiness to embrace new ideas. Let's break down these groups and understand how they play a crucial role in the success of innovative concepts. First up, we have the innovators. These are the trailblazers, the risk-takers, who thrive on novelty and are always eager to try the latest gadgets or ideas. They're the tech geeks who camp outside stores for the latest iPhone release or the early adopters of groundbreaking technologies. Next, we have the early adopters. These folks are open to change and innovation, but they're a bit more cautious than the innovators. They watch closely as the innovators test the waters before deciding to join in. They're influential in spreading the word and generating buzz around new ideas. Moving along the curve, we reach the early majority. These are the pragmatists. They like to see a proven track record before they fully commit to a new idea. They wait until the initial kinks are ironed out and seek reassurance that the concept is practical and reliable. After the early majority, we have the late majority. This group is more skeptical and cautious about change. They adopt new ideas only when it's almost unavoidable or when the benefits significantly outweigh the risks. They might resist change initially, but eventually, they recognize its necessity. Lastly, we have the laggards. These are the traditionalists, the ones who resist change the most. They often hold on to familiar ways of doing things and are reluctant to adopt new ideas. They might only embrace innovation when there's no other option left. Understanding this curve helps us realize that successful ideas don't just sweep across the population uniformly. They progress through these different segments, and gaining traction depends on how effectively the why behind the idea is communicated. Sinek emphasizes that starting with why is critical in connecting with each of these segments. By clearly communicating the purpose and belief behind an idea, innovators and early adopters are more likely to resonate with it emotionally. As the idea gains momentum and proves itself, it becomes easier to attract the early and late majority, and even some laggards. So, when you're introducing a new concept, product, or idea, remember the law of diffusion of innovation. Focus on your why, communicate it effectively, and let it spread naturally across these different segments. Chapter 3. The Golden Circle and Biology of Decision-Making. Welcome to Chapter 3, where Simon Sinek masterfully intertwines the neurological underpinnings of decision-making with his concept of the Golden Circle. Prepare to be amazed by the intricate dance of our brain's emotional center and the power of purpose-driven actions. Sinek proposes that our decision-making process is not solely based on logic and rationality, but heavily influenced by our limbic system, the emotional epicenter of our brain. This is where feelings, trust, and loyalty reside. Our limbic system, you see, doesn't comprehend language. It responds to stimuli that resonate with our emotions. Imagine a scenario. You encounter a brand that deeply resonates with your values and beliefs. You might not be able to articulate precisely why, but you feel a profound connection. This intuitive response, according to Sinek, is your limbic system at work, responding to the why of that brand. Now, let's connect the dots to the Golden Circle. At the core of this circle lies the why, the purpose, cause, or belief that drives individuals and organizations. This why is what taps into our limbic system, triggering those emotional responses that lead to loyalty and engagement. Think about successful leaders and brands. Martin Luther King Jr., Apple, or the Wright brothers. They didn't just present facts and figures. They communicated their why with passion, inspiring people to join their cause. By starting with why, they bypassed the logical filters of the neocortex and went straight to the emotional heart of decision-making. The synergy between the Golden Circle and the biology of decision-making is what sets influential leaders and organizations apart. They understand that to inspire action, they must connect on an emotional level, appealing to our innate desire for purpose and meaning. So, as you journey through this chapter, reflect on the brands that have earned your loyalty, the leaders who've motivated you, and the movements that have stirred your soul. Understand that beneath it all, there's a profound connection between their why and your emotional responses. And there you have it, a captivating journey through Chapter 3 of Start with Why by Simon Sinek. As we wrap up, remember that by embracing the neurological aspects of decision-making and the power of the golden circle, you can unlock a world of purpose-driven potential. Chapter 4. This is not opinion, this is biology. Alright, folks, get ready to have your minds blown, because this chapter takes us on a journey through the inner workings of our brains and the role they play in influencing our behavior. Sinek masterfully explains why this isn't just his opinion. It's rooted in biology. Sinek starts by introducing us to a couple of the brain's best friends, dopamine and serotonin. These two neurotransmitters are key players in our motivation and well-being. First up, dopamine, often referred to as the feel-good neurotransmitter. It's associated with pleasure, reward, and that rush of excitement you get when you achieve something. But here's the kicker. Dopamine is triggered by anticipation, not the reward itself. It's the promise of something good that gets our dopamine levels surging. Then there's serotonin, the mood stabilizer. This neurotransmitter contributes to feelings of well-being and happiness. Interestingly, Sinek highlights that acts of generosity and acts that promote the well-being of others trigger an increase in serotonin levels. It's like a natural happiness booster that encourages us to contribute positively to our community. Now, what does all of this have to do with Start with Why? Well, it turns out that when we're connected to a deeper purpose, a meaningful why, our brain's reward centers light up. This is where the magic happens. When an organization or a leader communicates a compelling why, it triggers dopamine responses in the brains of their audience or team members. Sinek argues that leaders who inspire action and commitment are the ones who tap into this biological phenomenon. By articulating a clear and resonant why, they create anticipation and excitement that lead to increased engagement and loyalty. On the flip side, leaders who focus solely on the what, the products, services, or features, miss out on this powerful connection. Without the emotional engagement that comes from a well-defined why, their messages fail to trigger the same level of dopamine response, leaving their audience less motivated and less likely to take action. So, there you have it, folks. The scientific explanation behind why starting with why matters so much. It's not just about philosophy or theory. It's about understanding the biology of human behavior and harnessing it to create meaningful change. Chapter 5. Clarity, Discipline, and Consistency. Sinek starts off this chapter by reminding us of the power of a clear sense of why. Think of it as your guiding star, the unwavering purpose that sets the direction for your actions. When you have a crystal clear why, you're better equipped to make decisions that align with your values and long-term goals. Imagine a compass always pointing north. That's the effect of a strong why. It keeps you on track, even when faced with tough decisions or distractions. Sinek introduces the celery test as a tool to evaluate your clarity. If a decision or action supports your why, just like eating celery supports your health, then it's likely the right choice. Otherwise, it might be time to reconsider. This brings us to the concept of discipline. Having a clear why doesn't mean you won't face challenges or temptations. But discipline acts as the bridge between your why and your actions. It's the commitment to consistently make choices that align with your purpose. Sinek emphasizes that discipline isn't about self-punishment. It's about self-empowerment. When you remind yourself of your why, you're more likely to stay focused and resist distractions that deviate from your path. Now, let's talk about consistency. This is where the magic truly happens. When you consistently act in alignment with your why, people notice. Your behavior becomes a reflection of your values, creating trust and credibility. Remember, consistency doesn't mean monotony. It means staying true to your principles even as you adapt to changing circumstances. When your actions consistently match your why, you build a reputation that stands the test of time. To sum it up, this chapter reminds us that clarity, discipline, and consistency are interconnected. A clear why fuels your discipline, and consistent actions amplify the impact of your purpose. So, as you reflect on your journey, ask yourself, is your why crystal clear? Are you practicing discipline in your actions? And are you consistently living out your purpose? These are the keys to unlocking your true potential. Chapter 6. The emergence of trust. Trust is a cornerstone of any successful relationship or organization. Sinek believes that starting with why plays a significant role in fostering trust among team members, employees, and customers alike. He argues that trust is built when people feel a sense of alignment with the core beliefs and values of a company or leader. When leaders articulate a clear why, they establish a common ground that resonates with the emotional and moral aspects of their audience. This shared purpose creates a bond that goes beyond transactional interactions, resulting in long-term commitment and loyalty. Sinek cites the example of Southwest Airlines, where the founder, Herb Kelleher, prioritized his employees' well-being and happiness. By communicating a purpose beyond profits, creating a joyful flying experience, Kelleher nurtured a strong sense of belonging among employees. This, in turn, translated into a culture of exceptional customer service. Trust also emerges when leaders prioritize the growth and development of their team members. When employees feel that their personal and professional growth is valued and supported, they are more likely to invest themselves fully in their roles, resulting in improved collaboration and performance. Building on this, Sinek emphasizes that trust isn't just about grand gestures. It's often formed through consistent actions. When leaders are guided by a clear why, they make decisions that align with their values, even in challenging times. This unwavering commitment to the why reassures others and reinforces trust over time. In summary, Chapter 6 of Start with Why underscores the importance of trust in leadership and how starting with a strong why can facilitate its emergence. When leaders communicate a clear purpose, align values, and prioritize the growth of their team members, they create an environment that encourages trust to flourish. Chapter 7. How a tipping point tips. Sinek takes us on a journey into the realm of the law of diffusion of innovation. Once again, he brings attention to the tipping point, that critical moment when an idea, product, or movement shifts from the hands of early adopters into the mainstream consciousness. This chapter delves deep into the factors that contribute to this tipping point and how starting with why can play a pivotal role. So, how does a tipping point actually tip? Sinek points out that it's not solely about reaching a certain number of followers or customers. Instead, it's about fostering an environment where the right people, the early adopters, fully embrace your why and share it with others. These early adopters are the ones who connect deeply with your purpose and vision, and their enthusiasm can spark a movement. Sinek emphasizes the importance of consistency and authenticity in messaging. When your why is clear and your message is consistent, it resonates with those early adopters who then become your brand ambassadors. They're not just buying a product or following a leader. They're aligning themselves with a cause they believe in. This authentic alignment makes them enthusiastic advocates, spreading your message organically. Sinek shares a powerful example: Apple. The company's why is about challenging the status quo and thinking differently. This resonated with early adopters who saw themselves as innovators and rebels. Their enthusiasm, along with Apple's consistent and authentic messaging, created a movement that eventually reached the tipping point, turning Apple into a household name. Now, reaching the tipping point isn't enough. To maintain momentum and avoid decline, organizations must remain true to their why. Sinek uses the example of TiVo, which initially saw success but failed to maintain it due to a shift away from their core purpose. This highlights the importance of staying aligned with your why, even after the tipping point is crossed. In conclusion, Chapter 7 underscores the significance of early adopters, consistency, authenticity, and staying true to your why in achieving a successful tipping point. By starting with why, organizations can create a movement that goes beyond numbers and sales. A movement that's fueled by a shared purpose and resonates deeply with those who believe in it. As we wrap up this journey through the chapters of Start with Why, it's evident that Simon Sinek's insights offer a powerful framework for personal growth and organizational success. The recurring theme of purpose, the deep emotional connection to why, and the understanding of how our brain responds to this approach, it all aligns to create a blueprint for effective leadership. Sinek's concepts remind us that it's not just about what we do, but why we do it. The law of diffusion of innovation and the tipping point demonstrate how ideas can transform the world when rooted in a strong sense of purpose. Trust, consistency, and clarity are the building blocks of a united team working towards a common why. So, whether you're an entrepreneur, a manager, or someone seeking personal growth, start with why challenges us to rethink our approaches, to be intentional about the foundations we lay, and to understand the profound impact of aligning our actions with our core values. If you found this summary helpful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more insightful book summaries and personal development content. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep asking, why? Thanks for watching.